Good morning. How you doing? Welcome to the morning live stream. Happy Friday. Hope things are going well for you. I'm Bill DeWeese, professional voiceover talent, voiceover coach, voiceover demo producer, and every weekday morning, and my objective is to share a tip, a trick, a strategy, something to help you make money, to become profitable, or more. We'll get to as many as I can here in the next few minutes. Just throw them up there in the live chat along with, whether you have a question or not, I'd love it if you'd share. I'd love it if you share your name or you're watching or listening from this morning. And while you're doing that, let me take just a second to to let you know that it helps. It helps if you enjoy technology. Now, I know some of you guys may be a little late to the party in that regard. And this, I wasn't intending to talk about this, but it got me. I was thinking this morning I had a new iOS update for my Apple Watch, and I downloaded a new watch face, and I still, even at this point in my life, I still geek out over this. I just, even if it's just something as stupid or as simple as a little update, to the operating system of my computer or my phone or what, I get excited about that. I had written off. I remember earlier on, like when I was 30, thinking, "Oh gosh, I can't do this computer stuff. This is something my kids will learn, but not me." I started in an MBA program, 1993, I think it was, when I started working on it. And I remember in our class, we were the first class at the university to be given a notebook computer. And that computer had, if I'm not mistaken, 1 megabyte, 1 megabyte of RAM. It was an IBM. It was heavy enough to be a doorstop. But I was fascinated by it. And then, it didn't have Windows. It was a DOS operating system. DOS. It wasn't graphical. There was no GUI, no graphical user interface. You had to understand DOS commands. And I totally geeked out on that thing. And I remember the fact that you could actually hook it up to a telephone as a modem to connect remotely with some distant place. I mean, it blew my mind. And from that point on, I was just like hooked. And I would play constantly with I got a computer. I got my own computer then, for home. I mean, that was my computer. I bought that. That was part of the program. But I bought, a desktop at home. And I remember just always experimenting, putting new software on it. And then, I would screw up everything and having to reformat my hard drive. But I loved all of that. And to be a voiceover talent today means you need to really have an open mind toward technology. And if it scares you, oftentimes the biggest way to overcome that is just to dive in head first. And don't be afraid to get a computer that even if you screw it up, it doesn't matter. When I say screw it up, I don't mean break it. You're not going to break it by, you might mess up some software and have to reinstall stuff, but that's how you learn. And you need to learn to enjoy that. Learn to enjoy that process, because if you do, it makes voiceover so much more fun, because, you do have to use technology. You need to learn how to use Zoom and Skype and, recording software. And it's not complicated stuff. But if the computer itself scares you, it's going to make it more difficult. So just dive into it. Have an open mind and just try stuff. It's okay. I'm 64 and I'm still geeking out over this stuff. I just love it. I think it's so much fun. And I hope that you don't allow your fear of technology to be the thing that keeps you from moving forward in voiceover. So make it a game. Make it fun. Okay, who do we have on this morning? We've got Rob. Rob is always like, Rob, you are on it. You're, let's see, chilly and overcast in the San Francisco Bay Area today. Thank you for that weather update. You guys are always giving me your weather updates. I love it. You're a lot of fun. Just so you'll know, here it's very cloudy and it's cold and it's wet. We have another hydrological warning, my wife told me this morning. Rain all weekend long. And our grandkids, their soccer tournaments are this weekend. So we'll have to figure all that out. Aaron, happy Friday to you in Columbia, Missouri. Greg in Asheville, North Carolina. Dave, hello to you in New York City. Phil in Tokyo. Bill in Boise, Idaho. Ron in Charleston. Rusty in Michigan. Mark in beautiful Estes Park, Colorado. Scotty, hello to you in soggy, chilly Brookings, South Dakota. John in Rhinebeck, New York. Adith, thank you for checking in today. Derek, good morning to you in Kennewick, Wall. Get the geeking out over it. Isn't it fun? I mean, here I was at 30 years old thinking, I'm not interested. Let my kids figure this stuff out. But man, once I got my hands on it, it was all over. It was all over. I mean, I love it. Melissa in San Diego. Um, let's see here. Scotty, love technology. Finally, new watch faces. I know, right? It doesn't take a lot to get me excited. You know, a couple new watch faces. So I'm downloading a new watch face and think, yay, all right, I got a new watch face today. Good stuff. Thank you very much, Dave. I appreciate the kind remarks. And I know a lot of you guys are in my voiceover blueprint. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, I have this channel in which I have 1,200 videos. But this is not VoiceOver University. This is an introduction to VoiceOver. If you want to get into VoiceOver University, where you've got the deep dive classes, you've got the community, you've got technical support, you've got the live daily mentoring sessions. You can watch me work in the studio. That's the VoiceOver blueprint. It's the full blown, it's the whole, the whole 9 yards, the whole thing. And there's a link to that in the description. So yeah, for sure, check it out. Would love to have you all in there. Denise in Long Island. Good morning. Kathleen in Wyoming. John. Hello, Professor Bill. Have a nice weekend. Thank you. Hey, Mike. Happy Friday to you from the Shrimp Fest in Orange Beach, Alabama. Oh my gosh, good food, fun, and music. I bet. I love me some shrimp. What is it? Red Lobster is having their all you can eat shrimp thing right now, and I've convinced Vicky to go a couple of times. She's just not a big Red Lobster fan. She doesn't like fried food. And but me, I love me some fried food. I shouldn't, but I do. Jack in Phoenix, have you ever used a vocal writer plugin instead of using compression? And if so, what are your thoughts? No, I don't use vocal. There is a vocal writer plugin made by Waves, and I'm familiar with it. I don't use it for voiceover. I just haven't found the need for it. I think in voiceover, maybe in something long form like audiobooks, where there's, a lot of dynamics over the course of a 5-hour book, it might make more sense, although I've never even used it there. I just, maybe it's because I haven't played with, maybe if I played with it more, I would be more fond of it. I don't dislike it. I just haven't used technology, play around with it, demo it, see what you think. But that's kind of my experience so far. Hey, Corey, happy Friday from Whitehall, Wisconsin. Let's see here. We got Marie in Texas. It's been a while, family, and I tried to move up to Wisconsin, then had to move back to Texas. Finally got internet going again, so good to be here. Yeehaw. Wow. From Texas to Wisconsin. You want to talk about culture shock. There's a big difference between those two areas, for sure. They're both very nice, though. Been to both, love them both. Highly recommend both. Susan, good morning to you in Stillwater. Riley in Paris, Texas. Hey, Joe in Rhode Island, how are you doing? Robert in Grand Rapids, Michigan, good morning. Hey, Professor Tracy in Rochester, how are you doing? Janesville, Wisconsin, thank you for your wisdom and uplifting advice. You show us that success can be achieved as long as you put in the work, get the right mindset, and play the numbers. Man, I could not have boiled that down any better myself. Yeah, that's it. And thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Oops, the stream's moving on me. Rob's saying, let's see, for a commercial demo, we have music, sound effects, etc. Should we do the same for other demos, narration, e-learning? A commercial demo, yes, is typically produced. I mean, you want to produce it as it would have been on television. And now occasionally there are commercials that only use voice, but that would be the exception and not the rule. But when it comes to narration, e-learning, for narration and e-learning, I always produce those with music. Yeah. Because a lot of that in real life would have music behind it. Audiobooks, no. I never, because audiobooks are not produced, generally speaking. I know there are exceptions to this. Sometimes they'll have some things, sometimes there will be audiobooks produced where like maybe the first few seconds of a chapter may have music or something. But no, I never produce audiobooks with sound effects, or with music. There's just no need to. Character demos need to be fully produced. Not for a DIY demo, but like, for instance, I've produced demos with, many of you guys may know Dave Fenoy, and we've produced character demos together where I work on and Mallory, works with me on these productions. We do the sound design for that, and that's a lot of fun. Because for a character demo to pop, like a video game demo, it's really helpful to have full-blown sound effects, the whole 9 yards. Of course, sound design is its own. Let's see here. When doing cold emailing, is it better to ask if they are accepting demos or just send it? Now, when you're, okay, if you're doing phone calls, ask if they're accepting demos. If you're doing emails, invite them to listen to your demo by providing a link to it. That'd be the way to handle that one, Susan. Good question. My new room place has a walk-in closet. I'd like to turn it into a demo room. Not sure what the best brand of sound foam to use for the walls. Thank you for all your knowledge and advice. Well, let me start by saying this is not foam. These are acoustic blankets that I have, so it's not foam, but this is the best sound treatment I've ever used. These are sound blankets, and they're made by Audimute, AUDIMUTE.com, audimute.com. I believe we decided these are $79 a piece, 8 feet tall by 4 feet wide. Man, these things, they're killer. They're awesome. I love them. In terms of sound foam, I have Auralex foam in my, which is it's a very good brand, Auralex. When I reset up and by the way, they finished the carpeting today in my basement, so we'll be setting up my whisper room soon. I'll be back down to the basement. When we do that, I've decided I'm going to take one of these sound blankets, and I'm going to put that in front of me, and then I'll use the Auralex to the back, behind me and to the sides. Okay, let's see here. AG in India's on. Good morning, AG. Derek, I deleted the hard drive directory of my first computer thanks to not understanding DOS menus back in the early 1990s. You deleted the entire directory. I'm sorry, that's not funny. I'm sure, it's funny now, I'm sure in retrospect. At the time, I'm sure it was not funny at all. But man, there were so many backslashes and symbols used, but I learned that stuff. I just thought it was like, can you imagine navigating a computer by having to, at a DOS prompt, having to enter, have the right words or letters and the spaces and the backslashes and the arrows to navigate your way around a computer. It was insane. But I thought it was but I'm just a geek. I'm a nerdy geek. Terry says, good morning from Fallston, Maryland. Never be afraid to fail. Have lots of fun. Life's too short. Boy, that's the truth, Terry. Good morning, Brad in Durban, South Africa, but still hunting it down again. Looks like my live stream's stalled there. There we go. Now we're back. Okay. You don't need a copyright-free book, or there's fair use. You can use, a portion of an actually professionally written script, like a real script you saw on television. You can use real books. You don't have to. And I don't recommend writing something yourself. Use stuff that already exists. No problem with that. Hey, Kylie in Australia. Hope you're doing well. Freddie says, oops, the stream moved on me again. Where am I? This is what happens when I don't move fast enough for YouTube. Okay, here we go. Claire says, happy Fun Day Friday, Professor, with the magic touch and magic voice. I was bragging about the VO Blueprint yesterday, and that won't be the last time. Thanks for all you do, and enjoy your weekend. Thank you, Claire. You're very kind. I appreciate that. Hey, Angela, top of the morning to you. Happy Friday. Is today the Friday the 13th? From Harmony, North Carolina. Oh, my goodness, it is. Holy cow. Warm in Texas today. I bet. Wally says, you had computers? We had 2 cups and a string to connect. And I hear you. Oh, that's funny. Have you done any character work lately? Not lately. I've done some character work. It's not my main thing. I don't seek it out. It comes to me on occasion. I've done some video games like Skyforge and Tom Clancy Ghost Recon. I've done some toy voices like for Lego plush toys sale. And what were those like upscale electronic stores in the malls? You know what I'm talking about. They had, neck massagers, and I forget the name of those places, but everything was really expensive. I remember that. And they sold a toy called Brian the Brain, and I voiced that years ago. That was a lot of work. And I found one online that I bought, and I am holding on to it just as a souvenir reminder. Dr. Bob, good morning to you in Clearwater. My audiobook Legacy of the Mat, Stories from Twin Olympic Wrestlers should be available on Audible within a week. Thanks, Bill, for the blueprint and your encouragement. Bob, congrats. That's so exciting. Would you call directly to the publishing houses of audiobooks? Yes, I would, and I have. And it works. Hey, Jolie, got the new Audible blankets on sale. Easy to hang and look great. Can't wait to record. Happy fall monsoon weekend in Minnesota. Hey, Jolie, glad you got these. Aren't these awesome? They're like, I can't believe how effective these things are. Let's see here. Okay, let's do a few more. And then I got to get to work. I've got some work piled up here this morning, which is awesome. Always excited to have lots of work. Thank you for your help. I never knew sound blankets existed. I'm learning more on the channel every time I watch. Well, good. I'm glad you're checking out, Marie. James, I love starting my days with Bill. Thank you, James. And I love starting my days with you guys. Let's see here. What's my favorite type of voiceover work? Tyler asks from Houston, Texas. You're going to be really disappointed to hear this. It's e-learning. I know, right? It's like, really, of all the things you can name, that's what you enjoy the most? I do. I mean, I like it all, and I do it all, and it's all great. Yesterday I recorded TV promos and did a commercial, but e-learning is number one, is what pays the bills. And number two, I enjoy the long form stuff. I like having a project, 5, 10, 20 pages, and I can just sit down and just find a groove and just go. And I like that for me. I know that doesn't sound exciting, and frankly, it's not. I don't consider it exciting, but I enjoy it. I like it. And if I could do nothing but that all day long, every day, I would be a happy guy. I am a happy guy. Let's see here. Claire, Sharper Image, Claire, thank you. That was it. Sharper. I remember an old friend of mine. He was a college student of mine many years ago, calling me once. He says, I'm at Sharper Image, and he says, I think I'm hearing your voice on a toy. He was. As a matter of fact, his name is Justin. And I've heard every few years I'll hear from Justin. Hey, he's like, one day got an email. He said, hey, I'm on a cruise and I just heard your voice over the cruise system. Yep, that was me. And he just reached out to me the other day and he said, did I hear you on a Bosley, hair restoration? It wasn't the Brookstone, Jolie. It was the Sharper Image, but that's another, that's the same kind of story though. Yep. Okay. Let's see here. Guys, you know what? I got to wrap it up because I got to get to work. I got clients waiting on work, but I appreciate you stopping by this morning. I appreciate your questions. Sorry I could not get to all of them. I will leave you with this teaser. Got some stuff coming up. I've got a live event coming up soon, another online live training event. Some exciting stuff happening there, and I'll be telling you about that probably starting on Monday. So hang tight for that. Have a great weekend. Have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.